Discover the story of Kosem Sultan, the charismatic Ottoman Empire regent. Kosem Sultan, the European concubine that changed the history of Ottoman Empire. Explore the extraordinary life of Kosem Sultan, a charismatic and powerful figure in the 17th century Ottoman Empire, in Unveiling History, Kosem Sultan. From her rise from the harem to the throne room, witness her strategic brilliance and political acumen that shaped the empire's destiny. Renowned historians provide insights into the era, unraveling the intrigue, ambition, and power that defined Kosem Sultan's legacy. Through dramatic reenactments, discover the untold stories of a woman who defied norms and left an indelible imprint on history. Among the most influential women in the Ottoman Empire was Kosem Sultan. She oversaw the empire for about 25 years. She became a regent for two of her sons and her grandson after living through 6 Ottoman Empire reigns. She amassed enormous popularity and esteem among her subjects during her reign as regent. In a power dispute, Turan Sultan killed her, bringing an abrupt and terrible end to her authority. Around 1589, Kosem Sultan was born into a Bosnian or Greek family. She was taken prisoner as a little child and taken to the imperial palace. We are unaware of her true name. Historians speculate that Anastasia might have been involved. Her name was changed to Mahpekar, which means moon-shaped, after she converted to Islam. Due to her smooth and hairless skin, she was given the name Kosem when she became Sultan Ahmed I consort. Sultan Ahmed I was immediately drawn to her beauty and knowledge. She took the lead in the harem very soon. She had 3 daughters and 5 sons, 2 of whom would go on to become sultans, for Ahmed I. Kosem orchestrated Mustafa I, the brother of Ahmed I, to ascend to the throne upon Ahmed I's demise. She was able to stop Ahmed I's eldest son, Osman, from becoming sultan thanks to Mustafa I's ascent. Because of Mustafa I's mental illness, Kosem was able to exert authority in the state. Kosem's rule was short-lived, nevertheless, since Mustafa was overthrown in February 1618, 3 months later. After then, Osman became sultan. Kosem was returned to the old palace under his rule and stayed in his care until 1623. After Osman was overthrown in 1623, Murad, Kosem's son, took the throne. Kosem became the role of the Ottoman Empire's queen mother. She served 11 years as regent. There were several uprisings against the government throughout her reign. She dedicated her energies to safeguarding the dynasty as well. Murad relinquished the regency when she was mature enough to take on Sultan's full authority. He exiled his mother from all political involvement and harem responsibilities in 1632. Kosem convinced Murad to spare her son Ibrahim from death in 1635. As a result, this kept her dynasty alive. Murad passed away in 1640, and Kosem came back to power through her son Ibrahim. Ibrahim didn't have any prior experience or desire to rule, which is why he mostly spent his time with his concubines and cherished the pleasures of the inner palace. As a result, Kosem was able to rule in his place. Nonetheless, because they both desired uneven authority, Kosem and Kemikskara Mustafa Pasha, the Grand Vizier, got along well. They didn't like one another, but they managed to run the empire together. Ibrahim eventually succumbed to the influence of one of his concubines due to his weakness. Kosem's political clout and influence diminished. Retiring to a summer palace away from Topkapi was her choice. In 1644, Ibrahim put Pasha to death. The empire began to crumble after Kosem and Pasha left. After Ibrahim was overthrown in 1648, Mehmed IV, his son, took over as Sultan on August 8, 1648. He required a regent because he was 7 years old. Now restored to power, Kosem held the position of regent. The title grandmother of the Sultan was bestowed to Kosem. Ibrahim was put to death 10 days after Mehmed IV became the ruler of Egypt. Certain sources asserted that Kosem gave his approval for the execution to be carried out. During her rule, Kosem was well liked and had the backing of the Janissaries, a superior infantry regiment. Nevertheless, Kosem saw a decrease in the treasury throughout her tenure as regent. Additionally, Kosem acquired Turan, the junior queen mother, as a political adversary. Mehmed IV's mother Turan was Ibrahim's preferred concubine. She was not appointed regent for her son because Kosem was a more seasoned administrator who had placed her allies in high positions inside the court. But Turan finally won over some of the court's factions. Siavas Pasha, the Grand Vizier, and her eunuch Suleiman Aga backed her. The entire empire was in turmoil as a result of this conflict. Suleiman, Ibrahim's second son, was crowned king by Kosem and the Janissaries in an attempt to depose Mehmed IV and Turan Sultan, assuming the role of queen mother from his mother Dilasub. But Turan found out about Kosem's schemes. Kosem was killed by Turan Sultan on September 2, 1651, using Suleiman Aga and his supporters. A curtain string was used to strangle her. After being removed from Topkapi Palace, her body was interred next to Ahmed I in the mausoleum. There was sadness in the public after Kosem, who was highly esteemed, passed away. For 3 days, Istanbul's markets and mosques were closed. Turan Sultan and her Grand Vizier were forced to put Kosem's supporters to death after her death due to their clout in the court. But this infuriated those individuals, and Turan had to release her Grand Vizier as a result. Kosem was well known for having a lot of sway inside the empire. But because of this, historians now see her as a power-hungry individual who killed her own son, Ibrahim, out of ambition for power. Kosem was renowned for her altruism as well. She assisted the underprivileged in Mecca, funded irrigation projects in Egypt, and constructed a mosque. Kosem was a strong woman who took the necessary steps to protect the throne for her sons. Before the fallout, even the sons she became enemies with showed her respect.